Hey guys, thank you for tuning in today again. Here with Chef Swerve, and then this is Are We Vegan Yet? So today we're doing a very old style Italian old fashioned spaghetti. So we pretty much took everything from around the house, just like the scrap stuff, and we put together this idea of that we were just gonna try to cook everything from scratch how they would normally do, like just kind of like finding stuff around the house. I think it's the best way to make any Italian style, or at least close to any Italian style spaghetti, because you just kind of finding all the good things. The only thing we're gonna be missing today is the red wine, but other than that, you got yourself close to a good soigné style Italian old-fashioned spaghetti. So this is what we're starting off with as our mirepoix. We got red peppers, some cut tomatoes, some onions, green peppers, and then garlic, and then we have celery and a little bit more tomatoes on this side. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna cook the celery and tomatoes. And so like I said, making with some hot oil. Get it nice and seasoned up. There we go. So you want to use the tomatoes. They cook really quick, so I'm not really worried about that part. And I figured that the celery is kind of like the same way. It's celery is just like filled with water for the most part. So the moment that they hit, like the surface of a hot pan, they cook down really quickly as well. So right now, I just want to get more of that cooked. And see, right here is where I'll start with adding a little bit of salt and pepper and letting this sit for a little bit before I add in the greens and the garlic. See, I can cook the garlic too, because that's what we really want to do. So let me not forget about that part. Perfect. And then everything else, I'm just gonna wait it out for a minute. It's a trick to this. It's always a trick to this, right? Because we pretty much want all the red to cook first, right? The tomatoes, the garlic, and then usually I would use red peppers. Well, red peppers and red onions, but like I said, this one, we just kind of scrap together all the things that we are using and not using. And so we have wheat spaghetti that we're gonna use. And then for this, to kind of make the marinara, we're gonna use this. I have tomato paste in here. It's like a half cup tomato paste, and it's like maybe about 2 to 3 tablespoons of ketchup. And then I got some vegetables sriracha. And then this is also kind of gonna balance it out a little bit, and cooking it in with these red peppers and onions and garlic is gonna give it really good flavor. You guys will not be disappointed. So figured that we got all of that going right now to make this a little bit more easier for us. We got the water boiling in here. So now, there we go. There we go. See? There we go. Usually people like to snap theirs. Me personally, I like it kind of like this. So I take one side and I kind of go halfway. And I try to diagonal it a little bit, so it makes it a little bit easier kind of to fold in. And then once it actually starts cooking, I can be able to ravel it around real easy. I can't even start to fathom how well it smells in here, guys. All right. Here we go. Here we go now. Now that we got everything in here. There we go. So I scrapped up everything. And now, with that one, I'm just gonna put a top on it and then let it cook for about, I'll say about 7 to 10 minutes. It probably won't even take longer than that, because pretty much after it's done, it is basically going to cook for at least another 2 minutes after. So I can give me like a little smaller top so I can put it over it. So I'm gonna use this instead. Set it like that, let it cook for a minute. Perfect. And now that we get this party going, we're rocking with the sauce. Now, usually when it comes to the marinara sauce, this can happen in literally like 2 ways. You can cook it really quickly, because I know people, they don't have time for sitting around and, waiting for it to get to this, very flavorful, very like abundant taste. You know what I mean? So the longer that you cook the marinara, the better the quality of the actual marinara sauce for your spaghetti. Usually, I would definitely say add meatballs with this, but we can save that for another day. So instead of meatballs, we're gonna use ground beef patty. This is the Beyond Beef. So in my last video, I was saying about how Beyond Beef has a real gamey-like taste to it, but like I said, I still love it. It's just, this is gonna taste so much better with this now, because now that gamey flavor is what I want. So this works for this spaghetti. It won't work for the meatballs, because like I said, you want to find something else that kind of suits it. So I would use the Impossible meat if we were gonna do meatballs. But given that I'm kind of turning it into a crumble, this works really well. And then, since we got that going, I figured it would be easy to add this in. Okay, so this is how we should have done it the original time. We should have added it in with this to cook the red with the red. But that's fine, because now that I added everything into this, now here's a little trick of mine. Take a little bit of some filtered water. You can use normal water. I'm just bougie like that, guys. Sometimes, just a clean living. I'm not really a fan of tap water, so I gotta filter mine. You know what I mean? But just want to get the rest of the juice out of that. See? There we go. See? There we go. That's fine. See? And I leave that in there in my bang. So now we getting somewhere. So now that everything is coming up, it's gonna take no time. So now we can play around. The sauce is gonna come out just perfect. A lot of you are pretty much gonna ask me why I didn't cook the meat first. And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't cook the meat first. Because the meat is gonna start cooking with everything. And given the fact that this is more of a crumble and it's not actually meat, I can do things like this. Because if it was real ground beef, I would cook the meat first. And then I would add everything else in, because it would not take longer for it to cook. But given the fact that this is the moment it turns hot and the skillet is hot, you are not missing out on the idea of how it's being cooked, because everything is coming together. So the hotter it is, the hotter it's gonna cook the meat. And then once I add more of the stuff in, it's gonna cook some more. So in about another 10 minutes, while this is like cooked all the way up, I can take this off that I'm placed on top of the pasta noodles and cover this up, so that way that it can cook very quickly. But you see how everything's coming together now? You see that? Everything's coming together the way it's supposed to. See? Look how quickly that comes together, guys. Right? Because that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we do. And you might think I'm crazy, but we are on to something, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Right? We already got it. So now I'm gonna let that rest. Now here comes the fun part. Seasoning. Right? Now here comes the fun part. Now that we let it do that. So now all our vegetable kit has been added to that mix. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these. And now the seasonings we're gonna use, we are definitely gonna use Creole, Cajun. We're gonna use paprika. We're gonna use just a smid bit of cayenne. Definitely some oregano. Garlic and herb. And then I like to use onion powder. I usually go with New Orleans Cajun, but we don't need this at the necessary moment. And just small, tiny bit of cumin. So the first thing I would do first is these three right here. So let's make a move on. Right. See, came back, everything's searing a little bit, coming to a cook. Now, this is the part that gets fun. Now our noodles are ready. Let me show you guys. Definitely ready. Definitely ready. So now, we're gonna take these out, put a little bit of oil in it, and then we are all set to go, baby. We are nice and ready. Take this. There we go. I'm gonna leave this right there for a second. There we go. Make sure that you break your pasta up, guys. Very important. Very important. Very important that you break this stuff up. Nobody wants chunky pasta. Nobody wants overcooked, undercooked pasta. There we go. There we go. You guys gonna be crazy if you think that we don't have a huge amount of people that we eat this, right? This stuff right here can feed at least a family for 2 days. This right here. Sometimes you gotta wing it out, guys. And this is the best part about making good food because, you know, you can eat it until you get tired of eating it. Then you just make something new, right? That's all you do. You get tired of eating it, you make something new. And that's why we're here. Because every channel is going to be something new. Even if we make it different, it will always be something new. See? Bam. And then now that that's done, now I said we was going to put a little bit of oil in it. And that is what we shall do. All right. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now we got to sort out the rest of this thing. There we go. For a second. A little bit of this in. And now, just add just a little bit more water. And then we're going to add just a little bit of butter to it too. And when I say, guys, this is gonna come together like no other, you'll be really surprised. Yeah. See, every time. Every time. Every time. And see, the trick to this part is that, you know, you always want to kind of, you know, cook it real slow. Like I said, some people don't have the patience to wait 20, 30, 40, 2 hours, you know what I mean, to get this pasta to be kind of where you want it to be or with the flavor you want it to taste like. But like I said, this right here, it just became our bread and butter. Because now look, small bit of cayenne. Now this one, we gonna hit it with it, okay? Like I say, garlic powder, onion powder, mix them both. See, now this is where we slow cook it. There we go. Yeah, I seen that. When I say tidbit, very tad bit, right there. That's how we want it. So now that we done with these, we're gonna bring the rest. Here we go. Just a tad bit more of the garlic herb. And this one has like, you know, more of a black pepper, and it has like oregano a little bit in here too. So gives it a little bit more of that garlicky and oregano flavor that we want. So this one, definitely one of the big hands on oregano. If you guys are not fans of oregano, like I said, use thyme, use parsley. Fresh parsley is the best for this, hands down. Yes, see? Now, slow mix that. See, now we ready. Look at that, look at that, look at that. There we go. There we go. See? Right? Before we added the salt, right? Still gotta do a taste test. Definitely got a little bit of spice to it. Definitely got a lot of flavor to it. See? Now, this amount of salt is all I need. Maybe one more pinch. And that's seasoned to perfection. Like I said, this is a kosher salt. So I'm not using like a iodized salt, which is extremely high in concentration. So this one is a little bit more of a natural salt. So I can use that and not make it complete cycle. I would definitely recommend, if you are a person that use ionized salt, please do not season like that, because you will have a salty sauce, and you do not want that. You do not want that. So if it's anything, make sure it's kosher salt or rock salt, but please make sure it is not ionized salt when seasoning like that. Okay? Good job, guys. And if you're still following along with this video, good job, because we almost through it. Perfect. And now we are missing one more thing, which I said was the butter. Oh, perfect. Last but not least, we're gonna use this butter for this. Very nice. Make some room over here, because we like to have room. And not to mention, guys, I know we had a quick second, so let's wash our hands. There we go. There we go. Clean towel right here. Always got a clean towel next to me, always. So I'll set this right here. So I'll just put just a tad bit of our butter right here. This is exactly where we want. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this minced garlic, put it in like that. And then just a tad bit more of garlic powder / onion. And then I am going to put just a little bit of parsley in this. And then I'm going to use my whisk just to kind of do that. You see? See what I just did? When I said I was going to make me a little butter sauce, this is what I was talking about. Because I took these little burger buns, I cut them, and now I'm going to use them to make some garlic bread. And then the tips of the butt that I cut off, I'm going to use to make crostinis. So I'll show you in my next video on how to make crostinis. All right, perfect. And like I said, we are all ready and set. Here we go. Here we go. Now, tally it up, tally it up. Voila. This is how we get down in this kitchen, right? Yes. Yes. All right. So now, while we're putting everything together, this is probably gonna only take a few minutes to just get a nice crisp. So that way that by the time everything is done now, we will be all set to go. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. There we go. See, guys? Look at how we do that. Look at how we do that. Oh, there we go. Oops, got that one. There we go. Here we go. Bam. Now, perfect. See, guys? There we go. And I know a lot of people cannot eat, or really fond of carbs and stuff like that. And a lot of people really try to stay and avoid away from it. But, you know, our body creates sugar. So it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be when you do, you know, have a cheat day for carbs. So if you do eat carbs, don't feel bad. It's really not as bad as people make it out to be. You know what I mean? But there are very friendly gluten-free ways on how you can eat stuff. I just haven't made it to that point yet, just because we're still practicing on how we can make everything completely vegan. So what we are doing is that we're using a lot of vegan products, so that in certain cases, that transitioning part to how we can become vegan could be way more easier, because now we're going to be using things with like Brussels sprouts. You know, we're going to be doing things on how we can do with roasted beets. You know, we're going to do with quinoa, and we're going to do wild rice, and we're going to have so much fun experimenting with all this good stuff. And a lot of stuff won't have carbs with it. You know, so this is a wonderful start, but I figured that since somebody probably was in the mood for something like this, here we are. So now that everything is done, everything is slow cooked, everything has brought up to a nice good texture. Oh, the one thing that we didn't do, guys, we did not put butter in it like I said we would, right? That's all I like to do. I get caught up in my moments and I forget to do certain steps. So with this one, so here we are. Let's say just about maybe that amount of butter. That amount of butter. There we go. That's one yay. Okay. So now, just take this. Just get a little bit of that. And like I said, just a small bit of amount of red wine with this. And this would have been like almost a perfect Italian dish in my head. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm missing a little bay leaves here and there, you know, but this, you can't go wrong. Who doesn't enjoy this? Okay, see? Some people might prefer this a little bit more saucier, But like I said, I think this is gonna be great. This right here is gonna be great because now we're gonna put it all together and it's gonna come right together. So let's get to it. This. There we go. There we go. There we go. It's great. Great. Now with this, now I forgot that the oil soaked it up a lot. So to loosen it back up a little bit, because this is a big batch of spaghetti noodles and they thin hair spaghettis. So this, we just gonna have to lube up a little bit more. Just so that way we can get the consistency that we're looking for. There we go. Perfect. And like I said, it's still cooked even right after. So it hasn't been in there for that long. So these are actually cooked really perfectly. You know what I mean? Because they usually fluff up right after still. So here we are with the great work of it. Now we're gonna put everything together properly. See? There we go. There we go. There we go. See? Just a little bit of work. Just a little bit of work. Just a tad bit of work. There we go. See? Perfect, people. There we go. There we go. Now, where's these? So here we go. Now I'm gonna set this right here. And we're gonna set this right here. That's perfect. And now, that's why it's always very important that we have clean space, so that way that we can be able to work efficiently, and we don't have to get slowed down and have to be worried about moving everything out the way. So this one, now we can hide right there, so you guys can see it nice and clearly how we do this. There we go. Twist it a little bit. There we go. And like I said, I know people don't have time to play like this, but guess what? We don't play. We wanted to show y'all exactly how this looks. And we mixed our noodles up, and you can clearly tell it's a little bit of wheat and a little bit of the regular kind. So now, here's our sauce. There we go. There we go. So now, look at that. Look at that. See? We're just gonna land it right on top. Right on top. Right on top. See? Now, with this, usually you can use a Parmesan for this, but since I only have like the Monterey Jack, I'm just gonna sprinkle just a little bit of cheese over it. this right here. And then I'll take a little bit of the parsley. And then, we only missing one more thing, guys. Ta-da! And they are here. Ooh, hold on, can't see. Ooh, flex on them. Ooh, flex on them. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you so that way you guys can see. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, don't worry. Yeah. Y'all wanna say what that garlic bread hitting on? Yeah. Well, like I said, we are all set. So now, boom. Go ahead. I know you want some. And now here you have 3 spaghetti. So ask yourself, is this not worth going vegan yet? We getting there. We getting there. So thank you guys for doing this with me again. Have a good night.